Welcome to the show, I'm your host. Epictetus was a former slave who became one of the most influential philosophers in the ancient world. He was born a slave, and through his own efforts and talents, and perhaps some divine help, he was able to buy his freedom. He then spent the rest of his life traveling around the Roman Empire, talking about philosophy, talking about Stoicism, which was the dominant philosophy of his day. He would talk to people from all walks of life. And so we have these little anecdotes of conversations that he had with people. One was with a woman who was a former prostitute, another was a former slave. But this particular story is with a young man who was struggling with his sexual desire. He was very strong. He didn't know what to do about it. And he asked Epictetus for advice. And so Epictetus says to him, "You want me to give you advice on how to deal with sexual desire?" He says, "Well, first of all, tell me, do you want to be like the other animals?" He says. The young man said, "What do you mean?" Epictetus said, "Like the other animals, the horses, the dogs, the pigs. When they experience sexual desire, they just go for it." The young man said, "No, of course not." So Epicurus says, "Well then, don't you think that as a human being, you are capable of transcending these base desires that you do and need to just go with your instincts? That you can actually think about it, reflect on it, make decisions about it, that you're not just an animal?" Young man says, "Oh, I see what you're getting at. Of course I don't want to be like an animal. I want to be a human being," Epicurus says. "Well then you must learn to think properly about things. You must learn to control your emotions, including your sexual desire." So there you have it from one of the greatest philosophers of all time, the idea that we should not go with our instincts, that we should not just do whatever we want, but that we should actually try to transcend those desires, try to rise above them, try to be better than them. But how do you do that? Well, that's the question, isn't it? That's why we're here today. That's why we study philosophy. That's why we try to understand human nature and the Stoics and the Stoic philosophy. Because we want to be better than we are. We want to be better than our base instincts. We want to be better than just doing whatever we want, whenever we want. And so the Stoics would say that we should embrace our desires, that we shouldn't try to transcend them, that we shouldn't try to be something other than what we are. That's right. We should accept ourselves. We should accept our desires, our sexual desire, our anger, our jealousy, our fears, our hopes, our dreams, our ambitions, all of it. We should accept it, embrace it, let it be part of us. And then we should try to act on it. Not just act on it, but act in accordance with it. Act in accordance with our nature. Act in accordance with what we really are. So what does that mean? What does it mean to be a Stoic? Does it mean that we never give in to our desires? Does it mean that we always follow our desires? What does it mean? Well, I think it means that we understand our desires, that we understand ourselves, that we understand human nature. And we try to act in accordance with that. We try to act in a way that is true to ourselves, true to who we are, true to the world that we live in. And we don't try to transcend ourselves. Don't try to be something other than what we are.